you are being Rod Stewart or Marc Bolan, I sometimes clear my head and think, hey, hold on, what am I representing? What am I wanting to, like an actor does? But I never knew Rod that well till recently. It's been, meeting places like LA and at parties and stuff. And I always like to talk to people because they always think I'm a pervy little twerp. Rod's thing is interpreting a song, which is not a thing that I do particularly well, because I really work on my own song. Pathos it is with someone like Rod. All the songs definitely down, love songs and all that stuff. Whereas mine are about metal gurus. I think pain in songs is universal anyway. It's like being Charles Aznavour. Like Rod could have sung that song She beautifully, because he could sing My Lord. I think there's a bit of Judy Garland, and he could sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I think Rod hasn't reached his best period. I think over the next 3 or 4 years you'll find as a great singer, not just a rock singer. I think Rod could, very possibly, end up the Ethel Merman of rock. I see what I saw in the Stones. I saw some way, I saw that they were going to open up eventually a lifestyle that I was going to be able to move into, which they did, that early 64 period, that sort of David Bailey photograph. Whereas I don't really think the Beatles ever had class. The Stones, I quite like the clothes they wore, whereas the Beatles always looked like 2 years behind. Beatle jackets were in fact Pierre Cardin, from what I wore as a mod. I didn't ever want to copy Jack. To me, Mick is more of a ballet dancer than a singer. I think he's become to rock what Nureyev is to ballet. He's become very much Sunday Times kind of fodder. Rod is very much Daily Mirror still, I want to say still, there's no, I'd always prefer to be Daily Mirror, but I think Mick had, or does have, aspirations to have weekends with royalty. I'm sure Mick would like to see himself described over 10 pages by a really good novelist, someone like Somerset Maugham, describing his attire and the glint in his eye, the deep emotional movements of his lips and all that. He definitely sees himself that way. But I think Mick's trying to keep abreast of what is happening. When we first played the Palladium in Los Angeles, I hadn't really spoke to Mick properly. I hadn't really met him properly, actually, to that point. He came backstage at the gig I did there, and he was definitely there to check it out and do it, and he watched the whole set. I think wherever there's a new phase about to start, you'll find Mick lurking. I hate going to see other people's concerts. I have to be honest about it. Because all you want to see is your own anyway. It's true. Unless it's someone really great. And I think I've got over my idol days. I was very into James Dean at the beginning, and Elvis definitely. Elvis was a strong feature with me. And after that, I decided Ollie Murphy I quite liked for a bit, and Mighty Joe Young. 95% star quality is survival or ego, but also laced with a bit of humble pie. I think once you get near to sort of 30, 29, you begin to think that you might be around in 5 years' time. Hopefully. Whereas when you're 25, the last thing you're thinking about is when you're going to be 35, because it's an invisible. You don't want to be 30. The thing about rock and roll is that you've got to know that you're not really all you're cracked up to be.